Alrighty guys, welcome back to the video. We are today doing a modeling video. It's not the modeling video you think it was going to be. I am going to go over some basics that I have learned as an amateur. These may not be the basics for everybody right now that a master or a really good modeler would suggest right now, but as an amateur, this is what I have gotten from all of my collective knowledge online or whatever that you need as supplies wise to do a modeling kit, a Gundam modeling kit. These 30-minute missions, right? What would you need to do an actual modeling kit? And sometimes painting miniatures, right? If you're going to do miniatures, painting and stuff like that. Obviously you're going to need painting for the painting miniatures and stuff, but that's another video for another time when we get into painting. Painting is not a little bit above our level right now. I'm not the greatest at a painter. Didn't do it when I was younger, so I'm going to be learning how to paint myself. But this is not a video about painting. This is a video on basic tools and supplies you would need to do your modeling. And I'm going to be brutally honest, basically what you need to complete a modeling kit. And that will be a handy dandy X-Acto knife, right? That's one you're going to need, right? Another one you're going to need is your mat. You're going to need a mat. You're going to need something to cut on. Unless you feel like cutting into your table. And I don't think a lot of people are going to want to cut into their tables and whatnot. And the last and most important thing you are going to need to complete a modeling kit is the most important thing. This is square root, baby. Square root number one. Your handy dandy nippers. Doesn't matter what type of nippers, you need nippers. I mean, you could get the double-sided nippers from Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever, but you can also get single side. You want a single side nipper to nip your railings and the parts off the railings to do it. I mean, technically, you don't even need an X-Acto knife to do the parts. You can technically even take out the X-Acto knife. You just need a pair of nippers, to really be honest. But if you want to get those clean nub marks or get those bits off those pieces, you're gonna need that. And technically you don't even need the mat as well. You just need a pair of nippers. That's brutally the honest truth. If you want to go out and get a $100 modeling kit and just use nippers, I'm pretty sure you can, but it's not going to turn out the greatest, and it's not going to turn out the best that you need it to be. You're going to need X-Acto knife. I'm going to put a clip in real fast of me at a Dollar Tree finding a X-Acto knife. You can find these. They're very easy. You can find ones with different types of heads that will help tremendously on cutting out the parts. It's very easy to get a hold of an X-Acto knife. There are many places you can get an X-Acto knife at, and they're not too expensive. You can even go in hardware places at Walmart, the hardware section and all that. Just look very detailed and you will see your X-Acto knife. You will find them. They're out there, but they help tremendously in with your nub marks and getting your stuff detailed as all get up. Another thing you could technically have is some sandpaper and a shining block. They would be great for additions to getting that modeling kit done, but they're not gonna heed you from completing a modeling kit. I think my first modeling kit I completed when I was, I want to say 9, over at my great-grandma's house. My parents gave me a Gundam wing, believe it or not. This is why I'm getting so invested into Gundam and Gundam Wing in itself. They gave me a modeling kit. They said, good luck, don't bother your grandma, we'll be back in a couple of days. And I didn't even have a pair of nippers at the time. You know what I did? I took them and twisted the parts off the railings and twisted the nubs off. That's how I got my models together. And I highly, highly, highly suggest you don't do that. Do not twist these off. You can. There's nothing stopping you. But they're not going to come out the greatest. And you have a definitely big chance of ruining your parts on that one. And so I'm suggesting that you don't do that. Highly suggesting you don't do that. And don't blame me if you do it. So, as of right now, pair of nippers. That's all you're going to need. That's what I've learned from the basics. You don't need a lamp over here that magnifies everything to tenfold. You don't need sandpaper to sand things down. You don't even need a cutting mat or X-Acto knife to get technically to get the pieces pristine, pieces off the railings. What you would need is you're going to need those items to get those parts pristine. In order to get those parts pristine, you're going to need a little bit more, and we'll go over a few more of what you're going to need in order to get those parts looking very nice, very nice. And most of these parts you can find at Walmart. That's where most of mine I gotten out at Walmart, other places. These are at Hobby Lobby. They had them. They're the Gundam nippers that you can get at Hobby Lobby. These are just other nippers that I've found about and grabbed because I like the way they are, and there you got different sizes nippers. You got big ones, and then you got the detailed small ones right there. Personally, the detailed small ones do a lot of work with those railings and whatnot. But if you're looking to just kind of speed run your railings and pop the parts off, you can use those big nippers, and just don't cut down to the part. Just always cut at your gates and go from there, and use smaller nippers to try to get as close as possible, not too close, but then you can use the X-Acto knife to get the rest of the little bits off of them. But as of right now, that's what I've learned for basics. I'm not the greatest. It's just going to take some time to work on your nub marks. That's what I suggest highly. That's what I've learned after putting together, I want to say, 5 Gundam kits right now. I'm very basics right now. I got the 2 30 minutes, this real grade Gundam Wing back here, and I put together 2 entry grades Gundams so far, and Aleos, and I put together Aleos. So as of right now, I'm very amateur in doing my Gundam modeling and whatnot. But also you can see I've went to a couple of gaming stores, and they had their own little Gundam modeling kits up there. And if you're really looking at details, you can see the details. You can see where they messed up, where they didn't, where they took too much nub marks, and where they've messed up on their painting. You can go in and view their work and see how well they've done, and see how you can take that and improve that. The attention is in the details, so always pay attention to your details. Not to beat the dead horse, but there isn't really too much about modeling kits in general. I haven't branched out into more modeling kits, but I will eventually get there, and when I do, we'll have fun with it and figure it out along the way, right? That's what we're here. But as of right now, we're just working with Bandai modeling kits. But it is what it is. But remember your attentions to detail and not to cut your nub bars too deep. Don't cut them too close to the part, and just work on your nub marks. That's all I can suggest. As get a couple real cheap grade modeling kits and work on your nub marks. It's just very important to work on your nub marks. There's a lot more experts out there that can go into details how to remove nub marks and whatnot. A lot of people suggest sanding your nub marks all the way, your nubs down to a finer point. And sanding paper is, for me, it's really hard to work with as an amateur and stuff. If you've never really worked with sandpaper, it's very difficult to deal with, but we'll get there. Maybe one day we'll see me sand down a nub all the way to the point of, but you also risk, when you're not using the right type of grades of sandpaper, scratching the surfaces of your parts and as well. So in order to bring it back to quality, you're gonna have to go back up in your grades. You would start with a more grit sandpaper and then sand it off. But you also got to remember, the more you sand off, you're actually taking away from the part itself. So sandpaper is a lot of detail with that. But in my next video for the 30-minute alto for the blue one, you're going to see me use some sandpaper. Let's try to get those white nicks and the nubs and all that sanded off and looking pristine and polished back out, so that the model looks a lot better than what it would normally. But back again, truly just a pair of nippers. That's all you're gonna need. Cut them at the gate and then cut them a little closer to the apart. And you can put the model together, put it up on the shelf. No one's going to be the wiser until you get your skills up to come back to the model itself and cut the nub marks off, and when you're more qualified, let's say, to do nub marks. But as of right now, that's all I have. You don't need much. A little quick 2 prompt video of explaining what basic tools you would need to do your modeling kits. Sorry for the little rant, rave, whatever, but you know, that's what I'm here for, is to throw some videos out there and catch the world, right? Hopefully you guys enjoy me talking about this. I know you could go to other people's channels and see them talk better and describe things a lot clearer, but I'm glad you came to my video and watched me explain modeling kits and whatnot. But like, just need a pair of nippers, you can get into modeling. It's not too hard. But remember, the intention is in the details. If you work on your details, if you have problem paying attention to details on things, you need to work on that. Once you work on paying attention to detail, your modeling is going to go a lot better. And take your time. Take your time on your parts. Slow is quick, quick is fast, and the whole saying, I forget what it was they taught us in the Army, but that's what we used when we went to air assault school and whatnot, is just attentions to details. You want to pay attention. Those details will mess you up and they will get you caught up. So just take your time and build up the repertoire, and then eventually it'll just become second nature for you. Alrighty, that's all I got for you today. I'll see you in the next one.